The Unfiltered by Jade.
Jade.
Welcome to the Unfiltered by Jade, where we educate, empower, and entertain. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, download, donate, and make everybody know about this.
Beats by RB Records.
Shopping assistance, your style, your budget. Our services include online and local shopping for individuals and businesses, personal shopping, purchasing of company and office supplies, importing and exporting small packages across Jamaica and worldwide, and helping you find unique gifts and items for all events and occasions. Contact us at 876-919-5195 or shoppingassistance2015@gmail.com. Shopping Assistance, your style, your budget.
Welcome back to the Unfiltered by Jade. Today we have with us here Dr. LaKedra L. Brown. And with Dr. LaKedra, we're going to be speaking about finding balance for the overwhelmed woman. Now, I know a lot of women can relate to this because aren't we all overwhelmed? Yes, we are. So Dr. LaKedra Brown, she is a psychologist, a transformational power and life coach, and a YouTuber. At the end of it, we're going to find out where we can find her, where we can subscribe to her channel, and where we can connect with her if it is that we need other services. So hi, Dr. LaKedra.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being on here. How are you?
I am great. The weather has been crazy, but I'm doing well.
Nice. Good. So I want us to speak about how to find balance for the overwhelmed woman, because I know a lot of us are overwhelmed and need this.
Yes.
So what are some common signs and symptoms that indicate that a woman may be feeling overwhelmed and out of balance in her life, and how can she recognize these signs in herself?
Well, I always like to start with myself because I feel like it's very difficult to help others if you cannot recognize some of the signs within yourself.
Yes.
And, being that I am a woman that, wears many hats like so many of us do, one of the first things that I notice is my inability to sleep, to really get some good rest. We go to bed at night, but we wake up in the morning just as tired as we were the night before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because, our brain is constantly moving, and we're constantly trying to figure things out, and what needs to happen next and things of that sort. So that is one of the things that I would definitely say that is a sign. Another thing is, it shows up in our body when it comes to other than feeling tired, you may feel yourself having headaches, more often, or even just feeling just like depressed. And you can't put your finger on like what's wrong. You say like nothing in particular has happened, but you just feel like something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the ways that I would say that when you start feeling that out of sync with yourself, because we know our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
We know when we know that, when we're feeling tired, but when we're feeling tired, when
Yes.
we are exhausted, when we cannot, when we just feel like we can't push it anymore. When we feel like irritable, and no one has done anything to us. So when you start, having those symptoms more often than not, then that is definitely a sign of, you may be overwhelmed.
Yes. What strategies or techniques can women use to manage their time more effectively and to prioritize self-care even when juggling multiple responsibilities and obligations?
I would say one of the things that I like to do is sometimes I have to take a moment and I brain dump. I brain dump a lot, and I usually do it, early in the mornings or even just like real late at night, where before I get my day started or right when I'm about to go to bed for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And I just try to get everything out of my head, as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't try to put it in any order at that time. I just get it out so I can feel like, hey, everything is out. Now I can focus.
Right.
Once everything is out, then I start to look at that list, and I start to try to prioritize like what needs to happen like now to keep things rolling smoothly or to get things back on track.
Mm-hmm.
Once that is on and popping, then I go from there and I break things down like that. And I find out it's much easier. It's much easier than trying to just figure things out as you go, but just get it all out. Get it out of your brain and then work off a list from that. Because I'm a list person. Some people
Mm-hmm.
are not, but I feel like having a list helps me because it also helps me feel accomplished as I check things off that
Yes.
list.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes. So find what works for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Doctor, how is it that women can overcome guilt or self-doubt? And when prioritizing their needs and well-being, how can they embrace it and have self-compassion for themselves? Because there are times when we want to have self-care, but we're like, we're gonna feel guilty because we're not gonna be able to take care of family at this time. Are we putting our families on the back burner while we take care of ourselves? Are we being selfish? How can we overcome that self-doubt?
Absolutely. One thing that I have learned, and it has taken me a moment to learn this, is that I'm no good to my family and anyone else if I'm not good.
Mm.
So there will be times where I am just like all over the place to the point where I am about to have like an emotional break. And then my husband will see it. He'll take the phone out of my hand. He'll remove the laptop, the iPad. And he's like, nope, go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but I got to do this. No, you don't. Go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and he has actually taught me that, listen, you're done.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. So what you have to do is you have to prepare yourself to be good for another day. So if you have to take care of yourself, you have to give yourself that self-care and really look at it as the opposite. Look at it as I am being selfish if I don't take care of myself.
True.
Instead of looking at it as being selfish because I do want to sit down and take care of myself and get a massage or get an extra sleep or take an extra 30 minutes in the shower, whatever it may be. No, that is not being selfish. You are being selfish when you don't do those things, because in actuality, you're going to turn around and you're going to break, because you can only go so far on. I say it like we're not the Energizer bunny. We don't have these batteries that keep going and going and going. Eventually, you're gonna crash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then someone is gonna be taking care of you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we don't want that.
No.
What are some common myths or misconceptions about finding balance, and how can women challenge these beliefs to create a more realistic and sustainable approach to a living balanced life?
I think that one of the biggest things is like I said, I'm a YouTuber, and I enjoy watching other YouTubers. I enjoy watching their 5 a.m. routines, their 6 a.m. routines.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I am not a 5 a.m. woman. And I have not been a 5 a.m. woman since I was in the So guess what? That is just the thing. Balance is what works in your life. It's not a cookie cutter thing, that it's not a one size fits all. And I think that sometimes a lot of us, we look at, influencers or even other people that may be close to us, and we look at their life and we say, oh, I wish I could, get up at this time and go work out at this time and go do this at this time. Well, your life may not sustain that type of, calendar, or that type of, time lines. So you have to make it so it's sustainable for you.
Yes.
When I counsel different women, I always say, okay, what is going on in your life? You can have younger children. You can be taking care of elderly parents. You can have a special needs, loved one that you're caring for. You can be working 2 or 3 jobs. So you can't look at someone who may be a stay-at-home mom versus a mom who has a nanny. So that's the misconceptions of that it is a one size fits all, and it's definitely not.
True. So find what works for you in terms of self-care, in terms of
exactly,
and don't compare yourself to other people when you're seeing, I think
yes, because comparison is the enemy. It will break you down every time.
I feel you on that. How important are self-compassion and forgiveness in overcoming perfectionism and embracing imperfection and finding balance?
We are our own worst critics.
Oh, yes, we are.
We are our own worst critics, and we have to know, striving to live a godly life and striving to be perfect, to me, are 2 different things. Because to me, when I strive to live Christ-like, he already knows that I am a human. He knows that I'm going to make mistakes. He knows I'm not perfect.
Right.
So when I'm striving to be perfect, I am almost, it's almost an arrogance in myself that I am putting forward and saying, oh, I can do this. I'm not going to make any mistakes. And then when I do, I don't know how to, bounce back from that, because it's like I have this perfect plan that did not go as planned. So what we need to do is strive to live godly lives and not perfect lives. And meaning that, and forgive ourselves when we do mess up, when we don't quite hit the mark, because we're not going to always get it right. When we do snap on that loved one because we were, we were tired, or they ordered the wrong meal that we said we said we wanted chicken, and they got a steak, and we wanted to, and say, and learn to apologize and be like, okay. And one of my biggest things that I try to teach as well is it's okay to start over. We are not in competition with one another. We are our own competition. So I compete with myself. I compete to be a better person every day. So if I have to start over, that's what I would do.
When you were talking a while ago, what came to me is when you said being perfectionist, it's almost ourselves being arrogant in terms of we are eliminating God from the process when we believe we're perfectionists in things. And I say that because as someone who wants to be perfect in everything, it means that we're telling ourselves we don't need God, because if it is that we needed God, we'll know that we need to make mistakes. Therefore, nothing is perfect.
Absolutely. Exactly. You hit it right there. We eliminate them. So it's like, because I got it. I don't need him to help me along the way. I got it.
Yes.
And we will fall every time.
Yes.
So it's like, listen, I'm not even striving, because I was a perfectionist at time where I didn't even want to start a project or something until I had everything together. And then it just seemed like once I had that together, then I needed to get something else together.
Oh, yes.
It was always something. It was like, girl, Like, cut it out.
Yep.
It's always going to be something. Just start.
Just start. Just start.
Yes.
For those women who are feeling overwhelmed and are struggling to find balance in their lives, what are some actionable steps that you can, prompt them to start this journey?
I would definitely start with take a day. Take a day and just decompress. Decompress. I know it may sound almost impossible to today's woman who is always on the go, always moving. But take a day just to decompress. Write down your thoughts. Write down that ideal woman that you want to be, where you get to see yourself, living in a peaceful state, not a perfect state, but just a peaceful state where you're able to, balance some things a little better and understand that balance doesn't mean that every day everything is just going to be perfect. Everything is just going to, you're going to feed the kids at this time. You're going to wake up at this time. You're going to be able to work out at this time. You're going to be able to go to bed. No, it just means that, hey, I was able to get what I needed to get done that for this day. And now I can strive to do another day. And it will, and the more you do it and you build routines, because that's what it's about, building routines.
Yes.
And I'm real big on that. Like, I have a morning routine. I'm working on my afternoon routine, because my afternoon routine right now today is horrible. I'm not gonna lie, because I will sit at that computer and will not move for hours, and I know that's unhealthy. So I'm working on my afternoon routine, and then I have a night routine. So when you have others in your life, such as children, such as a spouse, you have to incorporate them in your routine. And you have to learn it has to be a cutoff time for work, because that's where I am. That's my
boundaries.
My struggle balance.
Boundaries. Finding boundaries.
Yes, finding boundaries, because I will work, and my husband's like, nope, it's time to watch a movie. And I'm like, well, I gotta get this. Nope, it's time to watch a movie. You've been working all day.
Yeah.
So it's like, I done been to work, and I done came home, I done cooked, and you still working. Nope. And so, and sometimes I just have to suck it up and just turn the computer off.
Yeah.
So,
but it's good also to have an accountability partner in terms of that, where they can say, no, you're doing too much right now, take a break. But the truth is, not everybody has that. So for people who don't have that, they need to implement it for themselves, where they set an alarm clock, just like how they might set an alarm clock to wake them up in the mornings to go to
Absolutely.
Set an alarm clock.
They go on Amazon and put them little alarm clocks, those little clocks on their
Listen, stop it, doctor. Stop.
Yes, put that little clock on their desk, because that's what I'm gonna start doing for my afternoon. I told myself that, as a matter of fact, today, because right before our meeting, I went to go get a Thai massage because my back was killing me. And she said, you have office work syndrome. And she said, because your shoulders are so tight and your back is so tight. So I can tell that you sit at a desk all day. And I said, you know what? You're right. And there's time I do not move. And so I'm going to start setting me a little clock. Every 2 hours, and I'm going to get up. I'm going to walk. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to do something, because it is killing my body.
Oh, yeah. And then our bodies start paying for our actions, because we're not taking the self-care actions that we need.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes.
I love that, though. I love that. We need to set boundaries. We need to find balance in whatever it is that we're doing, because we're going to be overwhelmed. And I liked that you pointed out that if it is that we're not okay, ain't nothing around us going to be okay. We're not going to be okay. We can't attend to our family or spouse. We can't attend to anybody if it is that we are not well.
Not at all. And they're going to be taking care of us.
And then they be there,
The blind leading the blind.
and then they'll be saying, "Listen, you should have taken care of your own self.
Yes.
You should have." So in order to not have to deal with that, we have to ensure that we put God first. Putting God first is also recognizing that we're not perfectionists and we have to take a break. It's okay. Criticism or not, we have to know it's okay.
Absolutely, and that's what and whenever I get off track on that, when I can get real busy, Jay. Like you, and I find myself. I say, you know what, God, I am so sorry. I haven't even spoken to you this morning.
Listen,
how dare me?
How dare us?
Yes, and I had to bring it down because he will let us keep going and going and going, and finally it's gonna be like, oh, okay, you gonna keep on not talking to me?
All right, let's stop you.
Yes.
Let's stop you and see what's gonna happen, and then we're gonna be like, oh my God, we have been working so hard. We have been doing so much that we forgot that you are the one that's even allow us to do what we're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's always a reminder. Always a reminder about taking care of ourselves and just stopping. Sometimes just stop. Even if it's for 5 minutes, just stop.
Just stop. Just stop and just breathe. Just practice. We don't even breathe the way we're supposed to anymore. We breathe shallow breaths.
Yes.
We don't breathe from, our gut, our deep in our stomach. We just everything is just
because we're trying to because we're trying to balance so many things without time to take the right breaths to breathe in.
Yes.
Man. Oh, thank you so much, Dr. LaKedra. I want you to tell us where is it that we can find you. Where can we watch you on your channel? Where can we reach out to you on social media? If persons want help and want coaching, where can they find you?
Absolutely. You can always contact me through my website, which is www.dblconnectionsinc.com. I am on all social media platforms. My Instagram handle is Dr. LaKedra Brown. I also have I have a Facebook group, which I always post some very just thought-provoking questions that I like to get like some great feedback. And that is LaKedra Brown on Facebook. And you can just go to my business page, Epiphany 516. And my YouTube channel is Dr. LaKedra Brown. And also people search it a lot of times, Epiphany 516. I do lifestyle. You see a lot of cooking with the Browns. You see me in my First Lady phase of life, what I have going on as a pastor's wife, being a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, just living life and trying to show balance, and also showing that we don't always get it right. You can always also email me at Dr. LaKedra Brown at gmail.com.
Thank you so much.
You can reach me anywhere, and I am here to help. I do have I also have a 30-day journal that's out there that I have found that a lot of women have said it has just been a blessing to their life. And it is my first release, Epiphany 516 journal, and it is just trying to just start us off with just balancing our life, but starting it off with talking to God.
And you have affirmation cards also.
Yes. I have affirmation cards.
See, I'm all in your business.
Yes. Oh, yes, girl. Yes. Affirmation cards. There are 30 beautiful affirmation cards in there. So, because I feel like we all need a little affirmation sometimes. I don't care how powerful we are, how strong we are. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves, we got this. And we need to, be affirmed and things like that. So those affirmation cards in there, and you just pull one out. I promise you, every day it's going to speak to you the way that it needs to speak to you.
And uplift you.
And uplift you. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Uplift you.
ma'am.
Thank you so much even for those affirmation cards. In a time like this, I think we need it. Even
thank you.
Because there's so many times that people aren't affirming us and we ought to affirm ourselves. Because sometimes it needs to start from us. We need to start doing the work. So even if it's the card, every day we pick a card and read it. We never know how it may help to transform our day, transform our lives.
Absolutely. Because like you said, sometimes we gotta. I be thinking like sometimes I just have to be like, you know what, girl, you the bomb. I might not feel it, but after I say it enough times, I'm like, okay, we can do this.
Of course, we gotta do that. We gotta do that to feel how we want to feel. Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Brown. I enjoyed having you.
Thank you, Jade. I just thank you so much for having me on your platform. I really appreciate you. You're just a beautiful, beautiful soul, and I just pray that more and more women, just be blessed by your podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I continue praying that you would continue edifying and helping and reaching souls, especially women, to help women even in a time like this. You're doing such great work. So thank you so much for that too.
Thank you.
And thank you so much to our listeners on The Unfiltered by Jade. And we'll be back next week, Tuesday. Thank you. Bam, bam,